More answers, presented by Mazda BT-50. More is more.
Hello there, welcome along to our weekly look at what's happening in the world of AFL, thanks to our great mates at Mazda and the BT-50, Sam Kekovich.
Rusty?
If I had given you $1,
Yes.
Just answer me, would you have backed Fremantle? No. Would you have backed Port? No. And would you have backed Carlton? Maybe.
Why rhetorical questions? Give me something I've got to think and mull over.
Three big upsets in the first week. Can you remember?
I can't remember a week like it ever in the history of the game. Who would have thought Geelong, of all games, at Geelong...
would have lost to Freo. And they
lost to Freo.
Absolutely played them off a break.
They did. I tell you what, you've got to admire Freo too. Look, Freo, I don't know why, but I'm far from convinced about Freo, yet they continue to confound me purely on the basis that Lyon has got this devious game plan. He just defends, and opposition somehow can't penetrate his defence.
They still kicked 12 goals. It's enough to win a game of football.
There's a touch of infallibility about him. One
of the things that's now started to be talked about, the possibility of a Port Adelaide versus Fremantle grand final. The Channel 7 executives would be salivating at the thought of that.
Oh, would they ever? Oh.
They would just be thinking how good's it. Johnny Worsfold, as predicted by somebody I know very well.
Who was that?
Me. About 3 months ago, I said he wouldn't be at West Coast, and I got poo-pooed from one side of the nullarbor to the other, but he's gone.
Strangely enough, because 3 weeks ago, the word around the footballing campfire in the West was the fact that he's going to be reinstated. It was just a matter of, you know...
Whether he wanted to.
Well, whether he wanted to, and a few of the fineries had to be ticketed around the contract. But apart the last 2 or 3 weeks... You know, it was a disaster from the West Coast. Their exit was shocking.
Yeah.
They got pummeled in submission, and I think they had a close word to him and said, Johnny, I think it might be better if you just exited.
Well, there was some talk saying that he could take them to the next level over the next 2 years, but really what we saw was that his time was done. Great career, don't get me wrong, he'll be a...
And the way they did it, if in fact he got pushed, the fact they gave him a dignified exit is fantastic. Class act.
OK, speaking of coaches, can Roosie turn things around in Melbourne, put the Swami hat on, and what do you reckon a first-year result would be that's acceptable?
No. Oh, what would be acceptable? Sorry. Oh, look, I think if he can win 4 or 5 games, I think it will be.
Right.
But more important, I think Roos will be looking at, and Melbourne Football Club, by being competitive, putting a structure in place. There's a light at the end of the tunnel in terms of going onwards, development, blooding some youth, and overall just being competitive.
OK, 2 tips for this weekend. Sydney Carlton, I want your thoughts quickly.
I think Carlton can upset Sydney. Have unfortunately just run out of personnel.
They've run out of petrol. And Geelong and Port Adelaide.
Look, dare I say it, but I think the Cats will bounce back.
I think Port have got a chance.
No,
anyway, we'll see you next week. There's plenty to talk about in the world of AFL. Thanks to Mazda. We will catch you next week as well.